Hey everybody, Dirili here again. So finally back with my poor baby Renji. He had to have two operations, and he's halfway through the healing period of the second one now. I'm still a bit apprehensive, but the vet says he's healing up well. It turned out that he had luxating patellas in both of his back legs, which is where the kneecap doesn't sit securely in their grooves because either the hollow is too shallow or a tendon or something is too long or too loose or short or tight. I know nothing about medicine, so I only have a general understanding of it, and I know that it's very expensive. I just know that he started yelping and limping over to me, holding up his back leg, one of his back legs, every so often. So I took him to the vet, who sent me to a surgical specialist. And once I knew what was happening, I could at least put his kneecap back in place when it happened, and I could feel it grinding as I sat back in. It was awful to feel because I could tell it really bothered him. When I went to the surgeon, I was really surprised that they actually said they could perform for the first surgery the very next day. I guess they had a cancellation or something. I had a bit of an emotional conflict here because the only time I had ever been away from Renji was a few hours when I went to look for a couch with my mother. And while I was gone, my sister and her son played with him in the backyard, so he didn't even know I was gone. So I kind of froze up and wasn't really mentally ready in that moment to just leave my baby in the hands of strangers the very next morning. We asked for a second to think about it. And I think, at the moment, the doctor was a little bit annoyed with me because the office was pretty busy that day and they were running behind. But, I really needed that moment for my brain to talk it through. In the few weeks between the diagnosis from my regular vet and that appointment with the surgeon, I was on edge and worried about the potential joint damage that he was accumulating in just that amount of time. His knees did start to act up more for a while before that, right before that appointment. I realized that if I scheduled the surgery for a later date, I'd just be on edge and worried about him the whole time again. And I'd still have to eventually leave him with the vet for surgery anyway. So better just get it over with. And then the second surgery was right at the end of the 6 week recovery period for the first one. It really destroyed my heart dropping him off, though, both times. He tried to come back to me as the doors were closing, and I just felt myself die inside a little. I felt like, please, just let me sleep on the floor near him. I'll clean the cages, whatever you want. And I was so worried that he'd feel like I abandoned him and let these people hurt him, or that the pain may alter his personality in some way, because I've heard cases like that with some animals. His spirit seems somewhat undaunted, though he is somewhat stir crazy, since he's only supposed to be allowed to walk to go to the bathroom this whole time. And I have to keep him on a short leash so he doesn't try to go take off after a squirrel or rabbit or another dog. Fortunately, he adapted well to some sitting games I play with him to keep his spirits up, even if he does get bored of them after a while and just longs to go outside. Keeping a 15-month-old puppy from being active for 3 whole months is just an impossible task. We also had to corral him into a small area of the living room to limit his movements. There's no way I was going to keep him in a little cage this whole time. And I've been camping out in the living room with him to comfort him. Helps keep him calm. Sorry for the mess of our recovery zone. We had also been in the middle of getting a new couch, so everything is all scrunched up to make room for the movers to maneuver the new furniture. Suckily enough, I live in a split foyer house, so I have to carry him up and down half a flight of stairs every time I take him out. He's a 52-pound dog, which isn't huge, but for a 5 foot woman in her late 40s, it's a bit of a handful to do 6 or so times a day. I bought this harness that helps to more evenly distribute weight along the dog's torso and allows me to carry him by a strap over my shoulder, kind of like a purse. I only hook the back strap under the leg that is most healed to take him up and down. Then I unhook it so he can walk around and redo it to carry him back up. He clearly doesn't like it, but he's such a good boy that he still comes to me when I call and patiently lets me buckle him in. 3 more weeks of this, and then hopefully we can rearrange everything and start getting back to some semblance of normalcy. And hopefully his knees will never be a problem again. My sister's been prompting me to get back on videos, which actually has made me feel like getting back to it. So hopefully, once things stabilize here, I can do more videos. Cross your fingers. For now, I'm getting back to keeping my pup busy so he doesn't chew on anything he isn't supposed to. And I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye bye, everybody.